Am I wrong for flipping out on my fiance for selling the gaming chair my brother gifted me to pay for her gym membership? I, male 33, lost my 27-year-old brother to cancer a couple of months ago. We were so close and had a lot in common. He was a gamer and had all types of gaming gear, including a gaming chair that he wanted me to have before he died. It's devastating because we were really hoping and had planned to spend Christmas together. This chair I consider special because it was my brother's favorite of all gear, and it reminds me of him whenever I sit in it. I don't play anymore. It just brings me closer to him to a degree I cannot explain, and it brings me so much comfort. I keep the chair in my office, and days ago I found out that my fiance, who has been out of a job and complaining about no longer being able to attend the gym, took the chair and sold it online to be able to pay for her next month's gym membership. What a bitch. When I found out, I flipped out hugely and had a very negative reaction. Like anyone would, what the hell? She told me that she was desperate for money, and after selling all she had no choice but to sell the chair. How about, get a job? I reminded her of who this chair belongs to, but she said I already have tons of keepsakes for my brother and I shouldn't act like it was the end of the world. She also vented about her past eating disorders and her anxiety when it comes to keeping fit and claimed I was dismissing that she was struggling. Listen, you're not struggling. This dude lost his brother, you lost your gym membership. It's not the same thing. I yelled at her and called her inconsiderate and selfish and told her she should have never taken any of my stuff and sold it for a gym membership when she literally could have kept working out from home. I'm sorry, dude, to break it to you, but this is not the woman for you. She started crying as we argued, and then she went to stay with her mom, who tried to give me a stern talk about my attitude, but I didn't answer that and haven't been talking to my fiance since then. Oh shit, she's your fiance, she's not even your girlfriend. Shit, that sucks. Things haven't gotten better, and I got called overdramatic for reacting and treating my fiance like that over a gaming chair. I feel guilty because I've never yelled at her in my life before. So, was I wrong here? Did I go too hard on her? Someone said I went overboard because this is a gaming chair and it was a bit childish of me to make a fuss over it, but I already explained why I had this reaction aside from the fact that money is an issue we already have. Side note, she's 31 and they've been together for 7 years. So, oh my god, that sucks. Goodbye.
I'm one of those people that every now and again I just gotta give myself a good talking to. And sometimes that looks like sitting a rowdy teenager down and being stern with them. And other times it's just me reminding myself that I'm a queen and that everything's gonna be okay. And the other day I was sitting in my office and I was trying to figure something out in Excel. And for the life of me, I could not get it to do what I wanted it to do. And eventually I just felt like I was stuck in a cartoon where there's a little man running around taunting you. And I was mad. I was about ready to pick the computer up and throw it against the wall. And so I leaned back and I closed my eyes. And I like to channel my dad when I do these kind of talks. And I lean back, I close my eyes, and I say, you better knock it off right now. You and I both know that you're funny, but you are funny for free. So until you sign a deal with Netflix, I guess you might ought to just calm down and take a deep breath. Because if you throw that computer at the wall, the only thing you're going to be is broke. And there ain't nothing funny about that. And so I took a deep breath, and then to balance it out, I channeled my grandmother. And I closed my eyes, and I said, sweetheart, you just need to be a little easier on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's all going to be okay. And sure enough, I figured out how to do it. But let me tell you, it does not always work out that way. Sometimes I just skip right by both of those, and I end up talking myself right into a bad idea. And before I know it, I'm 6 shots deep, wearing a pair of booty short overalls, a bikini bathing suit top, and a straw cowboy hat in the middle of Lone Star dance floor doing a dance off. I may not be perfect by any means, but I tell you what, I'm a good time.
I was hanging out with 2 friends of mine, and it was summer. It was awesome. And we decided to go and check out this abandoned building that we'd been to before, so we knew, like, our way around it and everything. And I might make a video. If you guys like this video, I'll make a vlog when I go back to New York of the building. So anyway, back to the story, okay? So me and my friends go to this building. That's where it all starts. We go in, and the first half of exploring was fine. Everything was pretty much good. But then we got to the second floor, and we walked in on something pretty scary because, well, you'll just hear. So on the second floor of this building was abandoned offices. So when you go up there, it's just hallways and abandoned office rooms. So we go up to the second floor, and I was the first in line to go into the office. So I turned right, and into the offices we went, and immediately when I turned right into them, I saw at the very corner back of the room, there was 2 people there. And, you know, it wasn't like the most surprising thing because honestly, like, they're abandoned buildings. People go in them all the time and explore or like smoke or something, you know what I mean? So I see 2 people, and they see us. I just waved. I was like, yo, what's up? And all of a sudden, this one dude just starts running toward. Don't worry, like, we're gonna go back. We're gonna get the car. It's gonna be okay. Like, they're not gonna be there. We're gonna wait. Don't worry. And And finally, after like 20 minutes of just sitting there and talking, finally all were calmed down enough to go back. And we kind of like slowly approached it. We saw the car. Everything was fine. No one was in near. And we just straight sprinted at the car. Like we fucking ran, opened all the doors, got in, shut the doors, locked the doors, turned the car on. My friend peeled the fuck out. And we drove away so quick. And I still don't know what the fuck they were doing. Like, honestly. I don't know if they were doing a drug deal, if they were like lovers, if they were fucking there hanging out. Like, I really have no idea. Like, put your guesses in the comments or something. It was just two guys standing there. And when we walked in, they started chasing us. I don't know what pissed them off. Maybe it was my wave. Maybe me waving and saying what's up, like, triggered one of them. But honestly, I have no idea. So that's pretty much into the story. Very, very scary and crazy one. Please leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed this story. Leave your stories in the comments down below. Turned around and I was down those stairs. I was running. All my friends were running behind me and that dude was following. And his friend actually came out too. When we ran out of the building into the parking lot and kept running and getting chased, I looked behind me and I could see his friend in the very, very back. So these two dudes are chasing us, okay? They fucking chased us for probably a block. Like, they were not giving up. And finally, we lost them when we went into a forest. It was like this little bike trail thing. We ran through that and finally they gave up about halfway through the forest and went back. And I don't know what the fuck would have happened if they caught up to us or caught one of us, but it would have been bad because when we stopped finally to catch our breath, my friend was freaking out. I was like, dude, what the fuck? I don't want to go back, because my friend's car was back in the parking lot. So we had to go back to get his car. I was like, no, like, we're going to give it a little bit. Like, we're not going back right now. Like, dude, I turned around and I saw one of them had a knife. Like, he literally had a knife in his hand. And I didn't see that, but I would believe it because my friend, this certain friend of mine, like, he never lied about shit. And he was literally like on the verge of crying. Like, I'd never seen him so scared in my life. And yeah, he was very shaken up.
So a lot of y'all asked me about my time in the military, so I'm gonna tell you this story. This is my day 0 in the Army, all right? I got picked up from Fort Leonard Wood, and I got picked up from the airport. I got bused to Fort Leonard Wood, all right? You don't get right off the bus and go straight into basic training. You go into like a reception center, all right? You could be a holdover forever. It just fucking depends, all right? So I'm on the bus going down there. Now let me paint you a picture. I look like Eric Cartman, all right? I'm 6 foot tall, 225 to 235 pounds of pure 100% American fat fuckery, all right? But here's what I'm wearing. I was one of those that didn't know he was fat, thought he looked good. I was basically like a walking pap smear, just making women uncomfortable, all right? I have on gold chain, yeah, white deep V-neck, okay, cargo shorts, camo colored, all right? Black Vans with my white Nike socks pulled all the way over my fucking cankles. I look good, all right? So we pull up there, there's a little 5'5" female drill sergeant. Short women are already mean. You give them a hat and some authority, they turn into a whole different fucking animal. She gets on the bus, starts yelling, get off my bus. I wasn't really paying attention. There's no way that was her bus. But years later, I realized she had said, females to the left, males to the right. Your boy, puss magnet, I get behind the females. She's like, hey, get in the other line. Hey, dumbass, get in the other line. Hey, fat fuck in the white V-neck, get in the other goddamn line. And I'm like, oh, I didn't hear a please, an excuse me, a daddy. This was love at first sight, all right? That shit, I'm fighting back fucking tears day 0 because that shit hurt, because it came from a real fucking place. I'll never forget her name. It was Drill Sergeant. I'm pretty sure her last name was Daggett, because she was an angry little fucking beaver. She woke up every morning, put her feet shoulders width apart, and just punched herself in the cooter, all right? She was mean. She told her period when to start, all right? It was just, she didn't have to go, because it came from a real place. And that was my opening day to the Army. And after that, it was just a career full of bad choices.
You're not going to believe how this story ends. A lot of you have asked me to tell you my craziest story, and this definitely has to be in the top 3. Let me set the mood. It's Christmas Eve at Walmart. It's about 7 p.m. We're getting ready to close down for the night so everybody can go home and enjoy Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I step outside to do a perimeter check when I hear this man screaming and yelling for help. He runs up on me wearing what used to be a shirt now wrapped around his arms and back. But the front's completely torn out and he's got scratches on his chest, neck, and face. And he informs me that his wife is trying to kill him. Before I even have time to react, something comes out of my peripheral vision and smokes him in the face. It's a box of frozen corn dogs. Who the fuck throws corn dogs? I turn to see this small yet very hostile woman running at us at full force, holding a curtain rod that's still in the plastic and got tags. She runs up on him and starts swinging on him like she's Darth fucking Vader. He takes off into the parking lot and she gives chase. Now luckily we had an off-duty officer that night to watch the building overnight, so I radioed in to get him out there. But while I was waiting for him to respond, I'm just watching these two run through the parking lot. Have you ever seen anything that was comical yet terrifying? Like you didn't know if you should run for cover or start laughing? This was that. The officer finally makes his way out there, but by this time she's got him on the ground and she is standing over him, deadlifted a cart over her head like she's the Hulk, getting ready to bring this thing down on her. She wanted this man dead. The officer intervenes and breaks it up. But here's the craziest part of it all. And if you stuck around this long, go ahead and give this video a like and give me a follow if you don't already. The officer tells me the reason why they got into a fight. You see, they were loading their items into the car when the wife received a phone call from her sister, informing her that their mother was pregnant and her husband was the father. I'm sure that's a Christmas that neither one of them will ever forget. I know I won't.
I am getting married in a little under a month. I am going to cheat on my wife. I have never cheated before. I am 100% certain I will cheat once I am in a marriage. There is little hope I can remain faithful to a woman for the rest of my life. I will probably be able to avoid it for a few years, but once I want something different I will look for it. So why am I getting married? Lots of reasons that are beneficial to me, but I do not want to disclose. They don't justify it anyways. I do love her, but I'm sure many would disagree given the above. She is an amazing person. A wise man would not do this. I am not wise. I don't feel guilty about it. I feel guilty that I don't feel guilty. I am a pedophile and I can't wait to die. My desires started around puberty. I've been carrying this secret around with me for over 10 years and it's hung over every event of my life like a nauseous little cloud. I truly hate myself for having these desires. I know that when most people think about pedophiles, they think of child rapists or psychopaths, but I'm not like this. I've never acted on these feelings and I never will. The mere fact that my brain is sexually aroused by images of naked children makes me sick to my stomach and keeps me up every night. I haven't slept comfortably for years because of this. I know I won't commit suicide because I have a loving and supportive family. I could never take the person they think they know, that compassionate, intelligent young man I project to the outside world, away from them. This is also why I'll never tell them the truth about myself. I've had conversations about pedophilia with people, and the level of automatic disgust I read in their faces was enough to send shivers of despair down my spine. I've already sworn to myself that I will never get married, never have children. I'm seriously considering a vasectomy for what it's worth. At this point I really just look forward to death. I feel an eternity of nothingness would be like everlasting peace. Like I said, I'm not going to take that into my own hands, but it's one of the few things I genuinely look forward to. All in all, I acknowledge what I am and I accept the responsibility of it.
I've been with my boyfriend Colton for a couple years, but then one day he told me he'd fallen out of love with me. It broke my heart, but I loved him so much that I just wanted him to be happy. I mean,